Hi everyone, I'm Crow77 and today we're taking a look at a replay here. Now this player is in the bronze room, as you can see in the top left here. They have been playing for a bit though, so I'm guessing they aren't supposed to be in bronze room, so to speak. I'm thinking that their skill level is a little bit higher than that. So with this we're going to primarily focus on the player in front of us right here. And just kind of take a look and see what we can critique about the play, anything we can learn from it, and I will cover some of the mistakes that bronze room players tend to make. I figured this might be useful for some of our newer viewers out there that are just trying to get into the game and maybe making some of the same mistakes these bronze room players are. So here with this opening hand, I love this 9 discard. You don't lose anything off it basically. So you can make the 9-8-7, but you can still draw 7 and use it here. This progresses us towards the open Tanyao, so this is perfect here. As usual, when I do this sort of thing, I am going to keep everything hidden, so there's no wait tiles that come up, there's nothing. So anytime I say, you know, this player might be dangerous or might be waiting on something, it's just completely off the cuff. This is just my read on the game. So pretty good discard here with the 9-pin. We're holding on to this one just because of the chance to draw into the Itsu. That is the full straight there. And we'll see if we end up getting anything like that. I often say that Mahjong is not a game where you choose the Akko and go for it. And a lot of beginner players have no idea what I'm talking about with it, but it's exactly this, right? We're not forcing this full straight to happen or anything, but we're going to keep this 9 around and see if we can get it. We're trying to react to it as it goes. Okay, so a 7 draw here. I think we probably just pop this 1 pin. Yes. So this pushes us towards that Tanyao. Still keeps technically an option open for this, but most likely we're on Paifu, maybe Tanyao. Okay, so player to our right calling the 1 pin really restricts their hand. There's not much it can be, and yeah, here we're committing to the Tanyao. So I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm just not sure what this player to the right is on here. We would have to watch out for the red dragon, so they might be hard forcing that. Could already have it, honestly. Ooh, and I like holding on to that 7, actually. So if we hold on to that 7, we can discard the 4, unless we're concerned about the hand of the player to our right already. I think it's too soon to be that worried about it. But they did discard 5-7, I guess. Yeah, I think it might actually be okay. It's a little bit safer discard. Normally you want to hold on to it because if you draw the 6, then you create your pair of 4s with 5, 6, 7 on the side and drop the 3. So I'd be looking at discarding this 4 here instead. But just for that safety edge, I think this might win out here. Dashi 2, drawing a 3. Here we're discarding a 4, so not necessarily a safety thing then, because the 4 doesn't look that good in this situation. That's fine. We could go for that Sanshoku here, actually. Actually, there's no real path to it, is there? Yeah, no. So we could discard the 2 here, hoping for the 3-4-5 Sanshoku. But we end up in a really weird situation where we'd actually be waiting on a pair of 3-4. It's not actually that likely to develop into that Sanshoku. So here I like keeping the open weight and discarding the 8. It's safe against this player on our right here, and that is what we do. Okay. And there's a Tenpai technically. I probably Dama here, so I'm pretty sure I take the Tenpai, probably discarding the 3, just because we see 1-3 already. So it actually kind of cuts off the 2, so to speak. They call it a blocker in poker. But it makes the other 2s harder to use. So it makes more likely people deal in, so you discard the 3 here. But no, instead we discard the 2. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that's a slight mistake here, probably. I suppose this does give us a safe tile if the player to our left reaches, but I'm not really that worried about that at this point. Oh, wow, that's a dangerous discard there. So yeah, don't discard Dora last row, like, ever. Especially against something like this, it's just way too dangerous. Okay, it looks like they're going for Toy Toy, which is better than the alternative for us. But we do just go ahead and get this all simples hand right here. So again, Dama I like a lot. That way if you draw anything better, and there's a ton of weights that are better here, just tons of tiles you can draw to improve to Paifu, Tanya, Riichi. But we still take the win when we get it, so nice 2,000 points there. Oh wow, what is this hand? Okay, so we have 2 concealed sets already. Not great ones by any means. This cuts off our Tanya chances. We're not ever discarding it unless we need it for safety later. But I think this hand just develops normally still. Yeah, and we start with the 1 so discard. 7, early call on the 7, discarding a Dora here. To me that's indicating that this is a Tanya as well. Yeah, it seems pretty likely here that's what they're going for. White dragon across the way. Yeah, 3. One thing I will point out real quick, this game is actually an East only. So one thing you have to consider is you're basically starting in the South round of a normal game, right? So you're already worrying about positional play. You're trying to do whatever you can to avoid falling behind at this point. So these fast hands that build up a few points are worth it as long as we're not dealing in for it. Now with that said, in this situation I like discarding the 7 a bit more, just because the 7 can't pair. The 3 still can. If we draw that pair, then we're tenpai. But here the 7 just doesn't do as much for us, I don't think. It would be awkward if we drew the 2 of bamboo. But we would just have to deal with that if it came to it. So 2, 3, 4, discarding a 9 after discarding a Dora and a bunch of central tiles. This is likely to be a flush, and it's probably pretty close if it is. So we need to be careful of that. I like the 1 discard here, completely fine. Yeah. Okay. And here I like the 6 pin discard. It keeps us at a really wide... Ooh. Okay, so that's a little bit of a mistake here. So if we discard the 6 here, then it's going to be, if we draw anything really as tenpai, so we could draw like a completion of this set, completion of the 6-8, we discard the extra set there, or if we discard the 6, we can draw this 6 or that 8 or this 7 or this 6. All of those are tenpai. Well, we can't draw the 7 like we talked about here. But all of those are tenpai. It's a super wide weight to kind of go headless as opposed to planning on this being your pair in the hand. So something to watch out for. Headless hands are interesting to say the least. But with a triplet, it's very easy to step back and make a pair if you need to. Alright, a pawn of the 5s off to the right. So this could actually be a toy hand.
Lanya!
No, just Tanya. So Tanya Dora, nothing too big here. Not too much we could have done differently there. I mentioned a couple things. And we open up the next round seeing a decent hand here. We want to try to go fast with this one. There's no point in like trying to keep this closed and going for value. We have a lot of bad shapes, so like 3, 5, 7, 9, you know, no shapes here yet. So we're looking to pawn these, at least the first one, as soon as we can here. First discard is going to be the West. Yep. Oh, now that's interesting. So I know we said we want to pawn this. The Riichi makes me second guess it though. One of the problems with early Riichis like this is they're so hard to defend against. But I think with this sort of situation, like I said, you're trying not to fall behind in East. The worst thing you could do here is deal into some ridiculous dealer hand. So I like passing on this, discarding the reds, and seeing if we can kind of safely go around it instead. But here we're going to go ahead and push forward, which in a south, like east-south game, I probably would in East too. Oh, wow. And actually waiting on... That was a quick one. Okay. So yeah, pretty decent hand here. Nothing really to worry about as far as how we played it, just because there's not much that happened, honestly. So, yeah, it was the 6 coming out there. Alright. Not too much to say about that hand, I don't think. Okay, next hand, not so great starting out here. A couple pairs, a lot of isolated honors. I'm still going to try to develop this one normally, I think. With 7 honors, it's not worth going for the Kokoshi. Sorry, 7 terminals and honors. Interesting drop of the south there. I'm not sure what that's about, because one of the hands this could develop into is the Chitoi. So discarding the white is probably just better here. We don't necessarily need to worry about safe tiles on the second discard unless, you know, like last hand someone Riichi's already. Alright, so developing pretty normally here. If we can get some 2s, we could make this into an Ippei, but that's pretty hard to do. And here we're discarding the Wests. I'm not sure exactly what that's about. So the Wests are completely fine in this hand because of the possibility for this to develop into other shapes. So I'm probably discarding the 3 here. Like, we're giving up a Sanshoku chance, but it's not a very likely Sanshoku either. So I think keeping this around for a possible Chitoi is one of our better bets to win the hand. And we do have it back as a safe tile if we need it to. But yeah, once you commit to the first one, second one comes out. Discarding a Penchon here. So let's look at this shape real quick. So here we have a lot of overlap, a lot of weird overlap with Kanchans. So like 135 is a Ryokan shape, a double Kanchan shape. We're waiting on the center 2 or 4 for either one. But 5-6 is waiting on 4-7 anyway, with the 1-3 off waiting on the 2. So I almost like just discarding the 8 here and keeping as many possibilities open as we can. Hard to say for sure, but I think the 8's the better discard. The 8 of characters, that is. Yep, so not calling could open this up into a Tanyao, but it's a bit of a reach with no value. Again, no pun intended. Wow, 3 7s in a row. Wait, we didn't know that when we discarded that 8, did we? I'm not just stupid, am I? No. So none of them had come out at that point. Okay, if I'd missed that, I would have felt bad, but okay. So 3 7s in a row. Great draw here. Now we're discarding this 8 for sure. Yeah. I'm hoping to break off one of these pairs with this kind of hand, so we'll see if we're able to. And there's the east pawn. Not too much we can do about that right now. We have to be careful about discarding these Sozu tiles, though, because this definitely looks like a flush. Like, this one's screaming it, honestly. And there's a Riichi. So at this point, we have a couple safe tiles. When I said breaking off a pair, these 3s are the way to go, but I'm still worried about this flush over here. Yeah, the 3's just the right discard here, though. Okay. Ends up conning into the Riichi. God. I hate that. Like, this is just a good, safe discard, I think, in that situation. So I'd probably do that instead. Okay. So this 2 is safe right now. But so is the 3, probably. So we probably cut off the 3 first. I like that. Okay, and there's the deal-in on a 7. So not a ton of value, but, you know, a good bit there. 5,000 points is nothing to sneeze at. Okay, and opening up with 2 Dora here, but 1's a Yakuhai, so not super likely to get used, and player across from us is wasting no time getting started here. Wow, what is this? So they're maybe very excited about a Yakuhai in their hand. There's no way we can discard the red dragon here then. Like, I'm probably holding on to this until the very end at this point. Like, even this I don't like. I'd rather discard the red just because it just came out. Like, this is unbelievably dangerous. But like, I just don't want to give this player what they want. Well, so the value with dealing the green dragon here, it's something that was talked about in the book Super Digital Mahjong, if anyone's interested in looking it up. You discard these tiles early so they're not more dangerous later. So if this player does not even have a Yakuhai pair yet or something like that, they're just kind of calling tiles, which can happen in the bronze room. You want to discard this before they find that pair of green dragons. That said too, this hand doesn't look super dangerous, so I don't mind this too much. If we deal in, it's probably 1,000 or 2 points. And it passes, which didn't really expect here. And we find a pair of Norse. That feels bad. Wow, and they Tadashi'd that? Wow, okay. So they discard a pair of red dragons. I can't help it, I need to look at their hand real quick. Yeah, no, that's just wrong. I don't know what they were thinking with these discards. Yeah, okay. Alright, that's enough of that. We'll go back to the most likely better player at the table here. God, that just feels so bad. Alright. So discarding the 3 here, that's completely fine. It doesn't add anything in this sort of shape here. We are looking for this north wind if we can get it. Like, the ideal here is to end up toy. It's not super likely from this position, though. We do find a north. That's really nice. What do we discard here, though? I think I like the 7 mon. You want to make this shape as good as possible, because it's kind of our worst shape if we break off one of them. So the 7 and the 5 can be pawned at least. There's 1 7 left. So yeah, I'm probably breaking off the 7, and that does keep our chances of the toy out there too, and that is what we end up doing. So good choice there. Alright, and this is starting to look dangerous here. God, but the 8 discard makes it unlikely we have flush, so it's most likely just all simple tiles. Good, no con here. Good choice. Oh, so toy. Yeah, no, this is looking super dangerous then. So we're never cutting the 7. It almost looks like they're audibling into a flush. So we have to be very careful here. The 3 is completely safe, so we drop it here. Oh, do we take this? Like, I'm almost worried that the 4-pin, they're like 3, 4, 4, 5 or something, and they're committing hard to a toy. I don't think I want to take it here. If we do take it, we discard the 8-pin. I don't hate it. I think it's close, but I probably pass here. This player pawns, discards, in my opinion, the wrong side here. Discarding the 8 is twice cut. It's not going to be in the toy hand or anything. It's just a lot safer to discard this 8 here. And it gets pulled from across the table instead, luckily. So player to our right didn't have it, but someone did. Alright, Southwind draw. Is that okay? It's 1 cut. Yeah, it's probably fine. And it does pass here. Okay, so improving the weight here. Now we definitely discard. Ah, oh, God, but it's furry 10 now. Ah, this feels so bad. I think I still take the furry 10 weight, and that is what we do here. Okay, 3 is pretty safe. 2 is very unsafe. Well, not very unsafe, mildly unsafe. So it seems okay. Oh God. So I hate conning in this sort of position. Our hand isn't super high value or anything, but I think we have to do it here just because of how bad this 5 looks on the board. Like, there are so many 6s and 7s out there. Oh, not 7s. Oh God. I'm talking myself back and forth here. I do this in my head normally at the table. Yeah, I think it's safe enough that I'd rather discard it here. Because someone would have to have like the last 7 or the last 4. It's a double one-shot on both sides, so I think I just discard the 5 here. Ooh, but player doesn't do anything. They just discard the 6 and break their tenpai. Interesting. I think that's my least favorite of the possible decisions there. I would rather con than do this, I think. Yeah, no, I don't like this at all. Our hand has enough value to push here. It doesn't look super bad, and like I said, this 5 doesn't look that bad at all on the table, I don't think. I think I finally talked myself into that. And like this player can't even be waiting on a run of them unless it's specifically 4-6 waiting on that, which would require the last 4. Yeah, I think I'm just discarding the 5 here. Yep, and we have standard bronze room play here. No Yaku, 1 tile left. Let's go. So all we need to worry about with that is just the last tile. So here we're folding instead of discarding the 7. I don't like that either. I think we're folding to ghosts in this position. I think the 7 is completely fine here. I'm not really worried about anyone's hand enough to be folding like this. And 7 comes out completely safe. We follow suit. And we end up with a deal-in towards the dealer with that toy hand we were talking about. So 7 mon was completely safe there. Nothing else really to say there, I don't think. Yeah, it's, like I said, I think you folded to ghosts. I don't think that there's really anything we were worried about there. We're just waiting on that 4-7 pin. Even with it being furry 10, I think it's completely fine to go for there. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so next hand, God, I hate Chanta with a burning passion. But it looks like that's what that hand is most likely to end up as. So white dragon gets pawned. We discard it, pretty standard. Not worried about defense just yet. We do choose to hold on to the Yakuhai over the once cut ability. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I think I'd rather hold on to the west, just because Chanta is such a hard hand to make in general. You want to have as many options open as possible. I get that Jun-chan is better as far as like it's more points or whatever, but I think I'm actually discarding the 6 here. I kind of want to commit here, even though I don't normally. It's either the 6 or the red dragon. I probably discard the red dragon first though. Okay. Ooh, an opponent of the Dora. See, now those Yakuhai discards get a lot more dangerous too. Like, I think it's still completely fine here at this stage, just because it's cut already. But this is something we definitely have to watch out for. We want to try to figure out what they're going for. Doesn't look like a flush. Could easily be, and not easily, it could be that east wind, but isn't in this situation.
Alright,
we end up with this sumo anyway, so it doesn't, we don't ever really get to see it. I am curious, just for my benefit here, learning how bronze room players play. So yeah, this is a 3-4-5 San Shoku at that point. No, it's a nothing. There is no hand here. Okay, so once again, no Yaku. Let's move on. Okay, starting with a pair of a Dragon Dora is always fantastic. We're holding on to this red for a little bit to see if we can pair it and use it as a Yakuhai instead and keep these 3 Dora here. So leading off with discarding the 9 is the plan right now. Unfortunately not drawing too much here. Yeah, really bad draws, unfortunately. And there's a Riichi too. Oh, Lord. So I think here we're trying to sit on our laurels, I guess, so to speak. Where we've won one hand, we're rooting for this player to our right to win and trying to take second in this game. We're in 1 round before all last. I think he's far enough ahead on the right here. Sorry, they're far enough ahead on the right here that we just want to play as safely as possible. Probably start by discarding this red dragon. And that looks like the safest discard here. Goes for the 9 instead. It's going to be a bit less safe. I think I like the red dragon first. But here I'm hard folding. I'm discarding the 6. Not going for it though. Okay. So what I was about to say, that can get us into a lot of trouble. Because if we deal into like a Mahjong hand here, like let's go back and take a look at it here. So if we deal into a Mahjong hand, we are now in last place going into all last. That is the easiest way to lose rating points. So one thing that's very common and a very common criticism of online Mahjong is that you have to fold a lot. You have to place what they call iron folds. You are trying to do everything you can to keep your points. So I don't like in that position, wherever it was. Scrolled a little bit too far, sorry. So yeah, in any of these positions, I don't like taking any unnecessary risks. We can't really discard these green dragons because they're Dora. They look super suspect at this point. But we just have to play as safely as possible in this situation, I think. Yeah, let's move on. So we're in all last here. First is out of reach, so our goal is to end this as soon as possible. We're going to assume that if we try to push anything like worth value or anything, that the player to our right is going to fold, play properly there, and just trying to end up with something quick. Yep, fine discard there. Would love to draw this Yaku high. Player to our right is cooking something up again. We'll see if they have a Yaku this time. Looks like they're going for a flush, which is an odd choice to say. No, not a flush. What? Oh. Okay, so I'm going to say this one more time. Don't con. Like, you don't con here. There's no reason to. All you're doing is giving more Dora for everyone else at the table. And that's regardless of the point situation. Like, if I was behind in this situation, if it wasn't too extreme, I still wouldn't be conning here. Just because it is so much easier for other people to get value off fit than you. You have open tiles, you have less to work with in your hand, you have less ways to integrate Dora into your hand. And on top of that, you can't Riichi. So those Riichis get twice the Dora indicators you do at that point. And with everyone else at the table being closed, this con is not justifiable at all. You don't want to give any opportunity for people to catch up to your first easily. And flips a pretty bad Dora for this player anyway. Just because it is so easy to integrate into hands, the 4-pin. Okay, pawn on the 2, that makes this 3-mon in our hand a lot worse. God, why do we discard that pair of West, though? Kind of missed what was going on with my rant about the con over there. Yeah, so I don't like that West discard. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. But this 9 discard is completely safe. You don't want to break an existing block over an isolated terminal. Like, you just keep that for a pair in this situation. Once you cut one, though, you do cut the other. So that's fine. Moving on, drawing more pairs, naturally. Here's where we end up with the Chi toy. I don't like that either. Why are we holding on to this 9? I don't understand why we're holding on to this 9. Maybe it's supposed to be safe. No, now we cut it. No, I don't understand that 9 play. I'll have to ask our player about that after this. Okay, drawing a 7. Just going north is fine. Here I'm starting to get a little worried. I want to hold back a safe tile if I can. Because again, we're in the situation where if we deal into a Mahjong, we're losing a lot of points. Like, it's not quite enough to bump us into 4th, luckily, unless this player's the one getting it. But I feel like I'm just hard folding at this point. Like, there's nothing in this hand for us here. So it's not worth the risk of pushing really anything. I'm just trying to find the safest discard I possibly can. And this right here is no exception. I'm going to find the safest discard I can, which unfortunately we discarded this pair of West. That would have been great to have in this position. Do we have anything safe here? Oh yeah, we have the 7. So the 7 is probably what has to come out here. No, we discard the 1. I hate that. Like, this could just deal into this dealer so easily. So it's really putting a lot at risk here to not play defensively in this position. Player across from us going for a Tanyao. That's still very dangerous right now with 2 central tile Dora. So something to keep an eye out for. That's completely fine. Don't tell me we're going to get like a Nagashi or something here. That'd be insane. The 1 is still safe, so we can discard the 1 here. No, okay. So it's not Nagashi. But yeah, the 3 bamboo is completely fine here. I'm completely fine, like I said, with the full fold. Worst case, we pay out a couple thousand points and we try to win the next hand. Not too bad of a situation all around. Okay, so here... not horrible, obviously there's 4 passed. Typically, I will try to discard the tile that just passed to my left, especially if it's not safe against anyone else. If you follow the tile to your left, no one can win off it, ever. Because if they chose not to win on the 6th, they'll be temporarily Furitan. Until they discard, they can't win off it. So the 6 is the safest discard here. And it looks like we are just going for safety at this point, but maybe we're just trying to push and I'm misreading it. Okay, so an 8 pawn to our right. Looks like they're going for a Toy Toy. Probably favorite hand over there. And we end with Ron. So yeah, so rooting for this player did work. We end up in second. I don't like how dangerous we were playing with that hand. But that does bring us to our final result here, with this being an East-only game. A small win here, you know, nothing really to worry about. If you end up with +10 every game, you'll make it to Celestial, right? So that's it for this video. Thanks all for watching. I know it was a little more off the cuff, so please let me know if you want to see more things like this. I will happily review more videos as possible. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.